Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask and are watching us live, just ask it in the comment section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright, let's get started with this week's news, and there are some pretty interesting ones. But the headliner has to be, of course, the Galaxy S10 and the current rumor right now that it's going to come out in January 2019. This is a very interesting rumor just because, one, it has happened for the last 3 years. For the last 3 years, Samsung has been mentioned as like, oh, they're going to release it earlier this year because of A, B, and C. Last year, it was because of the iPhone 10 sale, so Samsung is going to launch it in January this year to ramp it up. And the year before that, oh, because of the Note 7 debacle, Samsung is going to rush out the phone and get the S8 earlier. And of course, it didn't happen. So, and then I forgot what the S7, but it's been happening for the past couple of years. And although it is true, the S series is typically ready by that time, in terms of the phone is made and typically shown to some people at CES, it's never launched CES because they like to launch at MWC the following month and towards the end of the month instead of the beginning. Now, what is the reason for this year that the rumor mill is going that, oh, it's going to be January? Well, the reason is because of the fact that this year, people are saying that, well, they want the foldable phone to come out in between the S series and the Note series. So they're going to launch the S series in January and maybe the foldable Galaxy X phone in MWC instead. So basically you have a little bit of time on that. I don't know if I really buy that. I mean, for me, I really don't know if I would make such a big deal about the foldable phone. I mean, it's a great feat of technology, but it should be the 10th year anniversary phone's time to shine. So I don't really buy into the fact like, oh, we really want to give more time to this phone, because at the end of the day, it's the 10th anniversary of the S10, and I don't think they're going to do this. So let me know what you guys think. One, do you think it would be a good idea for Samsung to move up the S10 launch to January instead of launching it in or announcing it in MWC, so the end of February, and then releasing it in March? What do you think is a better time period for the Galaxy series? And when do you think the Galaxy X should come out, the foldable Galaxy smartphone? Do you think it should come out at the same time as the S10? Should it come out before the S10, or should it come out after the S10? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Now, the other big news is we do have some patent information right here, and this is all about the Samsung patent for fingerprint scanner in the display. Now, the reason why that's so important is because of the fact that if the fingerprint scanner is in the display, it could be, of course, on the Note series. As we all believe, it's going to be on the S10. It's pretty much a shadow of a doubt that it won't have. The S10 is going to really be an all-display phone, but it could be with the Note 9 as well. I, for one, believe that the Note 9 will get it more so, but we'll have to wait and see. We have already seen it on smartphones, and I think that the Note will be able to do this, and if it does, it's going to be a big win for Samsung. If it doesn't, I think that you will see some slower sales with the Note series this year. And also, we have a really big thing that got a lot of reviewers talking about, the market share and everything that's going on this year in the world of smartphone sales, because sales are down, and it has a lot to do with China actually. China's sales have declined a bit, but if we go by which manufacturers are doing better or worse, it really is all other manufacturers that are not selling as well. So let's go over it. Basically, in terms of Samsung, they're down 2.4% in terms of how many they sold last year. This time they sold 80 million. This year they sold 78, so about 2 million less smartphones. You also have Apple, who was up 2 million, so they got up about 2 million. You have Huawei, which went from 34 million to 39 million this year, so they are up 5 million, so they are growing still faster, one of the fastest out there. But the big winner this year definitely has to be Xiaomi year over year, because they only sold 14.8, so a little under 15 million last year, and this year they're already at 28 million. So they are really getting some big talks about it, and they are obviously doing very well in China, but they are beginning to their expansion to Europe. So I think this is really going to be big. They actually are the makers of the Oculus Go as well, which I didn't realize, but on the side of it you had a logo for the Oculus Go. So I thought that was really interesting that they are the creators of it, and I looked more into it, and they have like their own version of it too in China. So pretty interesting there. Oppo is about the same, but the big decline is on this line, and that's every other manufacturer. So this goes out to your LG, to your HTC, to every other manufacturer out there. They are on the decline big time. Last year, the other manufacturers made up 138 million. This year, they're only making 112 of the segment. So altogether, they dropped 18.5%. That's a pretty big hit, and that is where the decline comes from, is all other manufacturers, as well as Oppo. Oppo has lost, but I believe Oppo's really lost to Xiaomi and Huawei. But you can kind of see on the playing field of how smartphone sales are going. And while Samsung and Apple stay steady at the top, Huawei is definitely taking big steps. Xiaomi is taking huge steps this past year, and everyone else is on the decline. Overall, I'm interested to see if Xiaomi can do better in other markets, because if they can, they might get pretty close to Huawei, and with Huawei having all the trouble in the US, can Xiaomi make their way to the US and actually make an impact somehow? That'll be a curiosity that I'm very interested to see how it turns out. Now, speaking of sales, Apple did report their earnings, and basically the main thing you should know is, although iPhone sales are basically matching what they expected, just over it, or just under it, 52.2 over 52.4, the main thing is they are still making so much more money, and it's the profit is coming from the iPhone 10. Although Apple doesn't tell it which ones were selling the most, Tim Cook did say that their top phone every week was the iPhone 10. Now, that is something to say when you actually don't report it, but I'm very curious to see how close that was. Overall, I'm still curious to see just how well it will do. Is Apple hurting right now? No, they're not. But it really is going to be interesting on this next year's phone, how much differences, how much changes it will be. I don't think the iPhone 10 was as big a success as they wanted, but no matter what, the change in revenue per phone is what's keeping them really well standing right now. And the LG G7 ThinQ was officially announced for everyone. So we're getting it, it looks like June 1st is the date, or June 2nd for most carriers. However, the thing that we don't still know is the price. I think that's going to be a big important factor for LG. We've heard rumors of $850 for rumors $750. So we'll have to wait and see what the price range is going to be. I think it needs to be at $750 at the most, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see. And the pre-orders will start around May 24th or 25th. Overall, I just don't know how well this phone will do. I'm very curious to find out, but yeah, I'm really interested to see how this phone will do. Also, we have the LG's claiming just about the notch, so I thought that was funny to bring up on the show. LG claims that they had planned on the notch design way before Apple came out with it, so that they had already had plans for it while, before Apple came out with it. The point is that no one likes the notch, so I don't care if you thought of it first or Apple did. The main point is stop doing it. I think that's the biggest thing that everyone can agree on. And then we have some more news on the Galaxy S4. So first of all, we have the fact that, you know, with the last year we didn't get a Gear S4, we got a Gear S Sport. So this year what it looks like we're gonna get is a Gear S4 with LTE, which the Sport wasn't LTE, but also you're going to have, it looks like, 2 different sizes. So the reason why that's so important is because that's what I think Samsung should have been doing for a while. But the question is what sizes will they be? See, here's the thing. We have one size that has the Gear S3, right? That's 49 millimeters in terms of length. But then we also have the Gear S2, which was 43 millimeters. And that's the smallest one. And then we had the Gear S Sport, which kind of landed in between at 44.6 milliliters. In my opinion, the Gear Sport was the worst one because it just sat in the middle. And it wasn't big enough for people that had bigger wrists or small enough for people that had smaller wrists. And overall, I think they should lean towards the Gear S2 Classic and the Gear S3 Classic for sizes, and have the Gear S4 be 2 sizes, a small and a large, and really just push it that way. And I think they're going to do a lot better. I am curious to see what Samsung will do besides Bixby, because I know obviously that's one thing they're going to really push on the Gear S4 smartwatch. But I hope Samsung comes up with something different and unique and interesting, because we haven't had real innovation in the smartwatch market for a little while now. I am curious to see if Google will announce it at Google I/O in 2 days, some innovation in their Wear OS, but I really don't know what's going to happen. All right, now that was all the news for this week. Now, if you have a question, just ask it now in the comment section down below, and I will get to it before the end of the show. Okay. Also, Ricky, have you heard about Nordic VPN? If so, how is it? Could it be a candidate for your go-to VPN? I have heard about it. I don't think I've tried that one, to be honest. I have heard about it, but I don't think I've tried that one. If I did, I tried it for a very short term. But overall, I just really have to look into more so what I'm going to use for my VPN. I'm still in the process of figuring that out, but I should figure that out probably this month in May. That'll be my goal, to figure out a solid VPN this month. What is a good battery phone case for the SA Plus under $40 or in general? I don't really use phone cases. I've just never found them that useful. For me, I rather carry a battery pack and just charge it when I need it. And fast charge battery pack. That way, you know, you spend 20 minutes with an oversized case or battery pack, then you use it and then you're done. Overall, Mofis are one of the better ones, especially their new wireless charging ones. I do like that ability, but I'm not a fan of charging cases, so that's just me. Okay, what else do we have? Do you think anything about Bixby not working on the Note 8 after its update to Oreo? Bixby notification pops up, but nothing where you say the command. I haven't heard about that. I haven't used my Note 8 in a while, to be honest. I still have an extra one, but I'll probably turn that in for the Note 9. So yeah, I haven't used it. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm pretty curious why it's not working. I mean, I know Samsung would probably be scrambling to fix that. Hey Ricky, does the Oreo update drain more battery on the Note 8? Again, I haven't used my Note 8 as much, but there's a reason why I tell you guys I don't really like Android updates, because they usually screw up the phone. I did say that it should be okay for the Note 8 one, but you're the second person in a row telling me about issues with the Note 8 update on Oreo. So yeah, not sure. Apple's AirPod delayed with overheating problems. Not surprising, it's Apple's first real wireless charger pad. So, I mean, they haven't figured out this technology. Even though it's been around for a long time, they haven't done their own. And Apple always likes to do proprietary stuff, which I'm assuming this one will have. I'm assuming like it will need the W1 chip or something like that to really work well. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everyone drink. Let's see. Tim Cook says no YouTubers say yes to iOS, macOS compatible apps. Like I said, Tim Cook has repeatedly said over and over again that macOS and iOS will not merge. That's just again what he keeps saying. If it makes no sense to release a flagship right after the holiday season, this rumor happens every year. Yep, like I said. Note 9 fingerprint scanner and display, fingers crossed. I agree. Hopefully it will happen. I keep hearing iOS 13 is going to revolutionize the iPad. I haven't heard that, but I'd be very curious. I mean, we got about a month now, right? Till WWDC from Apple, so we'll have to wait and see, but I'm curious to see what'll happen. For right now, everything I've heard is iOS, the next update's just going to be like very minimal. So it's curious if the 13 update will be a big revolutionize to the iPad. What will Google announce on Tuesday? Google's going to announce Android P, and the big thing is what do we have to look forward to besides notches? Like, that's the main thing. Android P is going to be the big highlight of Tuesday's event. What else could be? I mean, I think we need some updates to Android TV. I think Android TV definitely needs an update. And I also think we would want an update to maybe another speaker. I would say Google should update. Is this going to be cutting anything? I can't really show it without disconnecting it. But my Google Home, basically. I think that is one of the biggest things that need an update. Here you go. Google Home, although will this be? Oh no, it's not blurred out. Google Home is one of the biggest things that I would say needs an update. So the standard $130 version.
Off right now. To turn it back on, press the button on the back of Google Home.
Thank you, Google. That's going to be one of the biggest things that I think needs to be updated. Maybe even make it cheaper. Maybe make it $100, but a more solid speaker or something along those lines. I think that's going to be one of the biggest things you're going to see, product-wise. But I don't know what else there would release product-wise. I would say Google Home is very likely. We haven't seen a tablet come out of them for a little while, so maybe something like that. But I think all the hardware will be released later on with the Pixel. I do not think hardware will be released right now, but we'll have to wait and see. Did you enjoy the pay-per-view? I did. Of course, the ending was horrible because Roman Reigns had to win. But yeah, everything else was good. Let's see. What does everyone think about the T-Mobile Sprint merger? Overall, I think the T-Mobile Sprint merger is a good thing. I know people have argued the fact that, like, oh, well, no matter what. That's the thing. It's like, we don't live in a no matter what society. You know, a lot of people think, like, no matter what, less carriers mean worse things for customers. I don't think that's true, because I don't think Sprint was doing anything really good for customers. And quite honestly, if Sprint doesn't get this, they are going out of business, in my opinion. That's just it. The writing's been on the wall for a long time. Sprint cannot maintain on their own. And yeah, if it brings some great competition to 5G, and now, you know, all the carriers over the next 2 years have to really fight for spectrum and really try to get the best coverage ever for 5G, LTE, or whatever. Maybe they'll change the name. It won't be LTE anymore. Maybe it'll just be called 5G, whatever. That is going to be something that's really interesting. And yeah, the big thing is if we can get 5G internet at 100 to 300 megabits per second, megabytes per second, that is really huge. I mean, we can literally get rid of cable internet. We can get rid of all that kind of stuff, and that is awesome. So that is something that I look forward to, and it's something that I can tell you cable companies are scared to death of 5G. They are scared to death of 5G because the real big thing about it is with 5G internet, you are going to see cable providers go so far down on their pricing, or they're going to go so high up on their speeds. Like, oh man, we really need to give gigabit speeds now to even be interesting for consumers to get it. So that's going to be a real big thing. I mean, this is good for consumers, the advancement of 5G technology, is the biggest pro for consumers. And if T-Mobile and Sprint's merger helps that, that's all for the better. Should I forget about my dreams on the Galaxy 10? No, you should not. Or the Galaxy X. No, the Galaxy X will be coming out no matter what. It's just a matter of time and in what shape or form. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Let's see where we go. Oh, I'm hearing Ming-Chi Kuo is stepping down as Apple's biggest leaker. Yes, in a sense. He is an analyst, and his new job will have nothing to do with electronics, basically. So yeah, that's what's changing. Apple YouTubers skipping iOS 12 and predicting iOS 13. I don't think they're gonna skip a year, in my opinion. I don't think that's a chance in hell, but we'll see. We'll see. What do you think about Vivo Apex front camera, and do you think it's a good solution to make the all-screen display phones? I talked about it when it came out, and when we were trying to get rid of the notch video. Overall, I think it's a good idea, but I think it makes people nervous. Even though I kept telling, like, I talked to a lot of people about it, right? Like, oh man, what do you think of this? But a lot of people had the same idea that, well, if the front camera comes out of the top, that's just another thing that could break. And I understand that way of thinking, but overall, I think it's a better solution than having a notch. So that's just my opinion. And again, it only pops out when you turn the selfie on. If you don't have the selfie on, it's not gonna have that. At the same time, I don't use the selfie that much. I'm not too big of a selfier, so I don't have it. I wouldn't use it as much to the point where it might get annoying by how slow or fast that thing would pop up and down. Samsung used to be one of the first companies to release some of the newest mobile features. Why does it seem like Samsung has taken a step back? It might seem like that, but here's the thing. It's not always that Samsung was the first company to do certain things. It's that Apple and Samsung are the most popular companies to do things. So for instance, those antenna bands on the back of an iPhone, that's an HTC patent. One thing that Apple and HTC share is patents together after a whole thing that where Apple tried to ban HTC and successfully did. But basically, really, there are things that come out more in the high-end phones from Apple and Samsung that were around before, but that only got popular when Apple and Samsung did it. For instance, Samsung Pay. That was actually its own company called Loop Pay, but Samsung bought them. And then when you could see that you can use a Samsung smartphone to pay on any credit card machine in the world, that was a really impressive feature, but it was around before Samsung. So, I mean, you're gonna see this year or next year, Samsung put a fingerprint scanner on the display, and it has already been done with the Vivo Apex, but because Samsung's doing it, everyone's gonna praise Samsung for it. Do you know that when one of my friends was in line for the Apple Watch, this is a true story. My friend, she was in that line to buy an Apple Watch, right? And in that line, these two, I'm sure Apple snobs or whatever, had said, "Oh, watch, now that Apple released a smartwatch, Samsung is going to try to copy them and come out with their own smartwatch." Samsung was on their third smartwatch by that point, but they didn't know about it. They didn't know it because they were, in the bubble of only what they knew in terms of Apple, so they didn't know other people did it. And that is the biggest thing, that sometimes Apple and Samsung will get the most credit because they're the most popular. So when they do something to a smartphone, even if someone has done it before, they will get the credit for it. So, I mean, a foldable phone will be Samsung, most likely is going to be the first one to do it. So that is going to be innovative. And that's this year or next year. And a fingerprint scanner and display will be this year or next year as well. So I think that sometime there is a year or two where we go without really big innovation. And we don't even care too much for, like, oh man, the smartphone camera on the S9 Plus I feel is way better than the Note 8 was, but definitely video quality is better by far, in my opinion. So, like, this is something I could really got used to, right? But at the same time, it's just the whole thing of every little upgrades don't impress us. We need something big. We need that wow factor, and that's what we need to see in Samsung and every smartphone manufacturer, really. This year and next year more than any other time, because we have gone a few years without what most people would call true innovation. Have you been watching YouTube Bread show Cobra Kai? No, I have all 3 episodes in my watch later list already. I have had friends tell me I have to watch it, so I will be watching it this week, probably within the next 2 days. But yeah, we'll see. Hope you're doing well. I heard Opera VPN has stopped their service, and now you can only connect for one region on the or the nearest. Do you recommend another VPN? Again, I will recommend a VPN within probably the next 2 weeks. But I did say earlier that I would recommend a VPN in this month of May. So I'll do my research and I'll find out what I think is going to be the best VPN overall. It was hard though, because Opera for a free VPN was one of the best ones. Is there any cell phone really has your attention? Because for me, I think I'm done unless the Note 9 has that wow factor. Any smartphone that really has my attention? No. I will say that. I think the OnePlus 6 is going to be another smartphone, great for the price. The OnePlus does so well, but I don't think it's going to be nothing wow about it. I think it's just going to be another good smartphone for the price. The Pixel, the iPhone, and the Samsung are the ones everyone's looking forward to. I think HTC is going to be a very competitive one finally this year, which they need. But yeah, nothing that really stands out besides that. How does iPhone record sales? Does it also include how much they break and how often people have to buy more than one? No. So how sales are recorded, so first of all, there's analyst sales, right? So that thing where I showed you in the beginning, that smartphone sales dropped, that is an analytic company, meaning they actually do not have access to the exact number of sales, but they are an analytic company, so they run algorithms and all of these different things to figure out approximately how many phones sold. They do not have the hard figures. They do not. So anytime that someone tells you these numbers are definite, a couple of years ago, it was 2 companies, IDC was one of them, and another company, I think they start with a G, both like reported numbers at the same time, and they were usually very different. And IDC, I think, ended up winning overall in terms of popularity, so that's the one most people still look at now. But so it's not even always the same numbers if you look from one analytic company to another. When Apple says their numbers, they do them in groups. So we don't know actually how much a particular phone sells. So ever since the iPhone went from iPhone to iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, or iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, ever since the 6 and 6 Plus came out, they stopped doing individual number sales. You know, they used to say we sold this many iPhone 6s, right? Now they just say 6s total, basically. They don't say how many 6s they sold, and they don't say how many 6 Pluses they sold. And that has continued all the way to the iPhone 10. So they don't tell you how many iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone 10s all individually sold. They just say, we sold 52 million iPhone 10, we sold 52 million iPhones. That could be the iPhone SE, that could be the iPhone 10, that could be the iPhone 8, that could be the iPhone 8 Plus. They don't tell you. That could still be the 7 Plus and 7. So it goes from all sales of the iPhone that is sold. But here's the thing. Some companies, to be honest, still do some tricky things when it comes to smartphone sales. Some companies' sales to the consumer is a sale. Meaning, if you go to an AT&T store and you buy the iPhone, that is a sale. And the sale is not counted till then. Some other parties count it differently. Some other parties count it as, Apple sold 1 million phones to AT&T. Apple sales are 1 million phones then. So they haven't accounted that AT&T actually hasn't sold them yet. But when AT&T bought them from Apple, that is counted as a sale. So those are different ways of counting a sale, which is also confusing. But those are the differences. Hopefully that helps understand. New Avengers movie was wow, epic. Yep, definitely was. Are you going to review the Moto G6? I don't know, to be honest. I think I will probably end up reviewing it, to be honest, one of these months. But I don't know. I'm not in a hurry to review it, I guess I would say. Probably I would review it after the OnePlus and LG G7. The reason is because I think I want to wait and see if Moto's going to reverse their decision and will release the Moto G6 Plus in the US, because I think that would be a much better phone for the US, but we'll have to wait and see. As of right now, they only plan on releasing the G6 and G6 Play, I believe. But I really want the Plus, so we'll have to wait and see. I can actually believe that LG or some other company came up with the notch design first, but allowed Apple to use it first to try to gain popularity before they use it. Yeah, I can believe that too. I can completely believe that. The thing is no one likes it really, so yeah. Is Skype actually free? I have trouble using the app. Can you make a video tutorial on Skype, please? I don't use Skype. I use Hangouts. Is my main video chat. I just like it a lot better. But Skype, I feel like the only time I've ever done a Skype call is for an interview. That is literally the only time I've ever done a Skype call, or in that professional sense. But most other business scenarios has been Hangouts. That has been the main thing used. So yeah, I just rarely use Skype. So I at this point, you would know more about it than me if you've used it recently, because I probably have not used Skype in about a couple of years. But like you said, the ones no one likes the ugly notch. That is true. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everyone drink. How is that? Does it concern you that we spend so much time looking at TV screens, laptop, tablet, smartphones, all this kind of stuff? Surely it affects our eyes. There's lots of studies done on it, and it's so far, and I say this so far because sometimes studies are done in a year, sometimes the focus group isn't as big, so take everything always with studies with a grain of salt unless you know all of the parameters. But so far, none of these things have been seen to harm our eyes as the screens themselves. What is more harmful to our eyes is that we do not blink. That is more harmful. So, and it's funny because anytime I say like, oh, I'm not blinking, oh, that's right, I'm not blinking that much. That is more of the thing that I would say that affects people most, is that we do not blink as much as we should during those TV watchings, during the video watchings. By the way, how many of you just blinked right now in the last few seconds after I said that? It really is, that's the main harm to it long term for our eyes, is that our eyes get very dry and that creates irritation and everything else. So that's the main thing, is that we don't blink. That is the biggest issue with looking at the screens, not the light that is emitted from the screen. Although that does, get us strained, but overall it's actually that we don't blink as much. That's the biggest problem with our eyes and viewing something like a screen for a long period of time. Because I'll tell you, I was playing God of War, finished the game finally this weekend, and man, when I noticed my eyes were like getting strained, I'm like, oh, that's right, I need to blink, because I was just focused. So yeah. Is it wrong when you say, whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded, when it's time to drink, I have a beer in my hand asking for a friend? I mean, it doesn't matter which drink you have in your hand, although drink responsibly. Did you drink on Cinco de Mayo? What did you do? Honestly, I am, as some of you guys have asked before, my parents are from Mexico. I was born in the US, but yeah, so my heritage is mainly Mexican. And so yeah, absolutely, I know about Cinco de Mayo, but no, I don't celebrate it that much, I mean, we happen to have we happened to go to Pollo Loco yesterday because it was it was a really hot day in the valley over here in Los Angeles. So we got everyone in the family wanted some milkshakes because it was really hot. So we got some milkshakes, and next door was a Pollo Loco. So we ended up getting Pollo Loco. So I was like, oh, look, we're having tacos, for basically we have flour tortillas. We had one of the family meals. So we got chicken, rice, and mashed potatoes, so not beans. But we made like little tacos kind of thing. So yeah. So that was the extent of my celebration for Cinco de Mayo, but it just happened to be. But no, I don't really celebrate Cinco de Mayo. And by the way, I always tell this to people, so I educate more people. September 16th is actually Mexican Independence Day, not Cinco de Mayo. That was a battle that was won, and that was all it was. But Cinco de Mayo sounds great, and it's a great marketing term. And I love marketing, so I respect it. I'm getting disappointed in Android flagship phones. I think I'm going to switch to an iPhone 10. Look, I mean, there's been so many of my friends over the past 5 years that I would say jump to one and jump to another, jump to one, jump to another, and then go back and forth. It really is just kind of like, I think more than anything, we just want innovation. We want something different. And that's what tends to happen more than anything else. I sincerely hope Samsung stays on the no-notch highway. I hope so too. How can I use a voice command feature on the Gear S2? I could use it before the update, but now I can't. I'm also can't use my Samsung Pay on the watch. Check the voice command feature, or S voice would be the voice command part of it. So go into the settings on there, go into that part, then hit the menu button and check to make sure everything's turned on properly. As for Samsung Pay, make sure that didn't get shut off, or relaunch Samsung Pay, see if it works, or does it just open the app and immediately closes it? I'm not sure what's the issue, but I don't have a Gear S2 anymore, so I'm not sure exactly what went wrong. To be fair, I don't use the voice commands on my Gear S3, and I don't use Samsung Pay on the watch either. I mainly use Samsung Pay on my phone. I told you before I heard the Note 9 would drop before the Galaxy X. You said I heard wrong. I did say that was what I said at one point, but I have said that changed for a while now. I said that that they would both be announced at the same event now. Basically, I think it was in January. I had heard from a Samsung person that that's what they were basically thinking about doing. That they were thinking about launching the S series, then the Galaxy X, then the Note. But the Galaxy X, again, the main issue with the Galaxy X, it's a foldable smartphone. And the main problem with it is that they keep having issues with it. Because, again, it's not just making one phone work, it's making a mass production that you can viably do and sell. So that's the big problem with the Galaxy X. So at one point in Samsung world, they were planning on releasing it before the Note. Plans changed. That's just it. So now the current ETA, from what my sources tell me, is that it's going to be announced with a Note, and then it's going to come out at the end of the year. But they have a backup plan to launch it with the S10 in case, again, there is a delay, which would be figured out by next month. If it changes again, basically. But yes, you were right. At one point, I did say that this is what was going to happen, and that was wrong because things changed. The upcoming iPhone with 6.5-inch display will be a strong contender, possibly Apple Pencil support. I'm curious to see what it's going to be. I think Apple needs a bigger screen, and that's it this year. It's kind of like the year of the iPhone 6, where nothing really changed except for getting a bigger phone, the plus size, and everyone went crazy because all they needed to do was create a bigger screen, and that was it. And everyone was sold. So yeah, I think that's the interesting part. Note 8 Oreo has had an issue with phone soft reset, and it hasn't been a small problem. Apparently not big enough to be noticed. I see. Yeah. Again, I haven't used my Note 8. I did update it to Oreo when every couple of weeks. I just like to make sure that, you know, all the apps are updated so that if something goes wrong with my main phone, I have a backup phone that's already updated. I don't need to wait a million years for, you know, 150 apps to update. So I like to turn my backup phone on every so often just to have it ready. But yeah, it's curious that this many issues are going on. New merch shirt. I'll be very curious. That's kind of an interesting one. Do I say that a lot? I'm sure I do. There's always these things like my wife will point out, like, you say this all the time, and I'm like, oh, I don't notice. What the notch? That still needs to be the shirt though. What the notch? That is one of the best shirts out there. One that's not made, of course, yet. Apple stock increased as Warren Buffett bought more shares. Opinion? There are always increases and decreases based on certain high-end people buying shares. So yeah, that's just it. I think the biggest thing that Apple has going for it, its perception. Its perception is what keeps it so high up there, and that's what's going to keep it going. 5G will change smartphones. Battery life will be amazing and better smartphone design. I think so. I'd be curious if it's going to be that much. I know what the technologies are saying, but I still think that the first few smartphones will not be as good of battery life as what we've heard, and then it'll kick up. So we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think it'll be as bad as 4G LTE phones. Oh my god, if you were on Verizon when the first 4G LTE phones came out, the HTC Thunderbolt, the LG Optimus something, and then the Samsung Charge, that battery life sucked. We're used to 5 hours of screen on time. That was 5 hours of battery life. Like 8 hours was all you got of the battery life if you were lucky and you tweaked it like I did. But when it first came out, like the Thunderbolt was supposedly only had like 4 hours of battery life. Like the battery life sucked in LTE when it first came out. So I don't think we're gonna get anywhere near as bad as that. Note 8 on Android Nougat or S9 Plus. T-Mobile has a Note 8 still stuck on Nougat. I would get the S9 Plus over the Note 8 just for software updates, and you're hearing all the issues that the Note 8 is having with Oreo right now. So yeah. Cable companies already rushed their 1 gig speed. Spectrum is expanding fast. Yeah, it is. It's not in the LA area as much, but also here's the interesting part for me, right? Like my family moved into a new home, and a lot of them now are using Spectrum. Why I said that Spectrum would be horrible for me is because they have shitty upload speeds. Mine, Fios internet, has 75 up and 75 down, which is perfect because, I have really high speed internet up and down. But when I upload this, the stream stays clear. But if I were on Spectrum, man, would that just suck. So yeah, that's my only one thing with Spectrum. I wish, like, if I were to move to an area with Spectrum, the first thing I would ask Spectrum is like, okay, I'm fine with 75 or 100 up. I'm fine with 100 down. What can I do to get more up speed? I don't want any more down than 100. That's fine, but I want more up speed. Like that would be my biggest thing with them. Google really needs to fix Android Wear, Lord Jesus. Well, they have changed the name of it. It's no longer called Android Wear. It's called Wear OS. So that's the new name of it. They changed that a couple weeks ago. I think a couple weeks still, not a month yet. But we're gonna see in 2 days what they've changed overall. Speaking of fights, did you get a chance to see the Sora and Pit death battle? No, it's on my watch later list, but I've not gotten to it yet. I literally think I'm like 4 videos away on my watch later list to see it, but yeah. Speaking of Samsung Pay, sometimes I go to pay at Walmart and it's hit or miss. Why do you think that is? Like sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. I stopped using it because it doesn't always work. So Samsung Pay at Walmart, the main issue is usually the teller, actually. So here's what happens. Most of the time the teller won't hit credit or debit, whichever version of the card you're paying with. So if you're paying with your credit card on Samsung Pay, they have to hit credit. If you're paying with your debit card on Samsung Pay, they have to hit debit. If they don't do this, it will not work. And that is a lot of the times, like I've literally gone with my friend to a store before, And I think it was like, what was that? It was a 7-Eleven was one of the times that I went with someone, and I was like, all right, if it works, you have to buy me coffee. If if it doesn't, I'll buy your stuff. You got like I forgot what it was, like a Hostess something, right? So we both went, right? I was like, okay, you got your phone? Yeah. And he was like, see, it's not working. And then I told the clerk, sir, can you hit credit? And he was like, oh. He hit credit, the clerk hit credit, he tapped it, it worked. That's most of the time your issue is that they just have to do a step. But when you're pulling out your phone to pay with your phone, they're like, what? Our phone doesn't have this capability. We don't have NFC on our terminal. We don't have credit card on the phone thing. It's like, yes, you do. With Samsung, everyone does. Well, most people. There are still some machines that I talked about a couple weeks ago that basically the button has to be hit, like at a gas station. When you have to slide your credit card in and then take it out, it does not scan for the credit card until that button is pushed in the back. So when you push your credit card in, that activates, okay, now I'm ready to scan. And when you swipe it back, that's where the actual scanning is taking place. Now, as long as you hit that button, you're fine, but yeah. Have you tried Hotspot Shield VPN? I'll take a look at this. Proton VPN, absolutely the best. I'll take a look at a couple of them. Again, I will make a decision this year. Oh, Apple isn't skipping 12. The predictions are going to 13 because 12 is probably lackluster. I get it. Now, and with that, a whole bunch of questions just let everyone drink. Facebook dating app. Okay, I will say this. In my opinion, is it maybe late? Yeah. But in my opinion, the Facebook dating app is genius. Like, that is perfect. Because you already made a Facebook app. You are now going to just sign into Facebook for your dating app. You don't have to go anywhere else. Not only that, but it doesn't show your friends as possible hookups, which again is important because you don't want your friends maybe knowing you're on this hookup app, and you have that ability. So I think it's absolutely genius. In my opinion, I think it's really smart. It's going to be interesting to see what this turns into, right? Like, if you're on Tinder, you just want to sleep around. If you are on maybe Match.com, you want a relationship maybe more so because you're paying money monthly for more so usually a relationship. But it really depends on the service and the people that are using it, what it turns into. Some of you may know this or some of you may not, but how I met my wife was online. We met through a dating app. We met through a dating website. So I mean, I've always been for dating websites. My whole thing, just a really quick spiel. The reason why I think dating websites are always so good is because if you plan to meet someone at a bar, maybe 20 people at a bar, right? 20 people at a bar. You have not a 1 in 19 chance, or say there were 21 people at a bar. You had a 1 in 20 chance of meeting the right person. That's taking half away because maybe half are guys or half are girls, whatever is not your preference. And then you have less than that. So one of these people hopefully will be the one with all of the same likes as you, with all the same dislikes as you, with everything compatibility, with everything you like about them, the fact that you might be able to have a conversation with them. For me, I just played the odds. I tried to meet someone online because there was a much bigger pool online and I had much more of an opportunity to already learn about their characteristics. So if I saw a profile of a girl that I knew I had nothing in common with, well, even if she was pretty and gorgeous and man, was she my type looking wise, I would know not to talk to her because of the fact that she had nothing to do with what I wanted in a girl down the line. So those are the big things. And if you wanted a hookup, you can get a hookup, whatever you want to do. But that's just my thing about preference of why I think online dating is a good thing and why Facebook doing it. Again, the more you have an all-in-one app, the better, right? YouTube with music. YouTube is trying to bring music really to the forefront of YouTube, and they did YouTube gaming for a while. Now they're just bringing it back to YouTube, because if you just visit one site, that's better. YouTube TV, trying to make it a part of it. YouTube Red, a lot of people are talking about because about the Cobra Kai thing. These things are better if you just have one app to go to. You will get more people, and I think Facebook doing that is a good idea. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's a bad idea? I'm not saying are you going to use it. I'm just saying, do you think as a business solution it was a good idea? Because I do. I do think it was a really good idea as a business solution. And it got everyone talking and away from all the privacy stuff. Like all of a sudden, that privacy stuff, like forget the privacy stuff. Facebook has a dating app. It's like that was a big talk. Best Buy discontinuing the HomePods. I did not hear about that. Really? They must not be selling really well then. Do you think LG mobile division drunk is drunk now? I do. I thought they took a pause to be better, but it seems in the case that it's worse in my opinion. I think they were waiting for this for the 845 chip. I do think they were waiting for the Snapdragon 845 chip, and Snapdragon was like, look, Samsung's gonna order this many from us. If you want it to, you'll have to wait till this time. And LG had no choice. Do you think that we in the US are really missing by not getting the Huawei P20 Pro? I do think we're missing out, but not necessarily because it's the best phone ever. I just think because more competition is good. Huawei is, as you saw, the third biggest smartphone maker right now. The fact that it's not in the US at all is concerning, just for the fact that we need more competition to drive price down. As long as it remains a Samsung Apple show, well, we got a $1,000 smartphone last year. So that's my thing. Hi, tech guy. What do you think about the S9 and S9 Plus getting bumped up to 128 and 256 in the US? Overall, I think it's a very interesting thing. I think Samsung's trying to get some more sales out of it. But I think they're testing it out before they do it with the Note, to be honest. Because if you suddenly start getting an increase, right, of purchases for a 128, well, can you imagine if the Note 9 came out in 128 only instead of 64 gig only? That would be quite interesting. So first you kind of can assess, are they willing to pay more? And if people are willing to pay more for more storage, then it might be good. Then maybe $50 more for the Note 9 so you can put a 128 gig storage instead of a 64 gig storage. That sounds good to me. But it's really interesting because then it's in the $1,000 price range for sure. So overall, I'm not sure where it will turn out, but I do think it's kind of interesting that Samsung did it this late in the game. It also makes me wonder, will they release a new color? Typically, Samsung releases new colors in midsummer and in the holiday time. You typically get 2 more colors for the S9 and S9 Plus towards that time. We got the baby blue, we got the gray orchid. These were colors, that came out later because of everything. It revitalizes sales. So I don't know if they're doing this instead of or in addition to. It's more my curiosity. I'm currently using the S7 Edge. Why? Because I'm waiting on the Galaxy X. I'm tired of waiting. I understand. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I would say either get the Note 9 when it comes out, or at least at the Note 9, you can see if you'll love it, or maybe you should wait for the S10 or Galaxy X at that same time. But I understand if you're tired of waiting. I have an S7. Should I wait for the S10? I probably would. Don't get me wrong. Is the S9 a lot better than the S7? Yes. But if you want like your money's worth and like you've waited 2 years before you upgrade to a smartphone, maybe wait till the S10, or at least for the S9 to go on a serious sale. I blinked like 20 times. Can I get radiation from looking at TVs and computers? No. That is, so many studies have been pretty much definitive that you do not get radiation anywhere near harmful enough to you by watching TV or computers. I can't wait till the 128 gig or 256 gig hit in the US. Yeah, and they aren't that much more money. I think they were like 50 or 60 bucks more too, so not even $100 more, which is nice. Sorry, a whole bunch of questions just loaded, so I drank. Higher refresh rate is healthier for eyes. That is true, absolutely. We need 60 hertz, over 60 hertz, and we need to look away from our screens once in a while. Blink more often. Over 60 hertz allows your eyes to focus less often, though. Absolutely. So yeah, when you get 120 hertz phones like the Razer phone, that's good for your eyes as well. And hopefully they'll be coming more often. All VRs hurt my eyes, have made me nauseous. That really sucks. VRs don't make me nauseous, but man, does that visor always like make me sweat. I feel like that's the biggest thing always with me. Like, it's just so enclosed, which it should be, because you don't want to see anything, but it's also hot. I wish they would have like more vents inside of it. Marketing is a good way to attract people. Yes, it is. We Mexicans over the celebrate Cinco de Mayo only called Puebla, and there's a battle that took place. Yes, exactly. I purchased the Tab S3 tablet, but do you feel the Samsung is phasing out tablets due to larger phones? Wondering if this tablet is worth pricing or worth keeping. The Tab S4 is coming out this year. It already passed through the Wi-Fi certification, but I realized that I took it off. I believe, I think I accidentally closed it in the what do you call it? The news this week. But yes, one of the news this week was supposed to be that the Tab S4 has passed through Wi-Fi certification. So yeah, that just happened. So the Tab S4 will be coming out this year. So whether that changes your mind on the Tab S3, unless you got a deal for it, I would maybe return it and wait. I have a Note 8. I don't seem to have any problems with mine. What are the problems people are having with the Oreo update? A couple of people have told me that they're like having a boot loop issue. Another one's having, another one was having, what was it? I don't know. We went over a couple of issues that people said they were having with the Note 8. Will Samsung force Verizon bloatware on all Galaxy smartphones? If the deal keeps going that way, yeah, I think Samsung should go tell Verizon to F off. But that's why I have an unlocked phone now. I'm tired of carriers, so I don't deal with carriers anymore. With the bloatware. What is going to be the better phone to get this year? Pixel 3 or Note 9? That's going to be a curiosity. I still maintain that the Note 8 was better than the Pixel XL2, especially my Pixel XL2 that had so many issues. So, user experience may vary. Yeah, I think it was easily that the Note 8 was better. So by going by that, maybe, but we'll see. Speaking of shameless plug, how is the progress of Kids Tech channel? I was waiting for someone to ask me about it, and then I would bring it up. We are not going to end up doing the Kids Tech channel. The Kids Tech channel really would have had to be with a kid as well, besides just me. And it's not something you want to force. So we are not, we're no longer going to do the Kids Tech channel, at least not for at least a year. Maybe down the line we'll see, but yeah, I got all this stuff for it, but spent some money in marketing, but overall no, we're not going to do it. So yeah. S9 just came out and already talking about the S10 release. Oh god, hello. Yep, that's how it goes. Should I buy the Galaxy Note 9 or the S9 Plus? I'm confused. The Note 9 will be better than the S9 Plus, but it depends if you want a phone right now or wait. That would be the best thing I could say for confusion wise. I agree, the database is huge. Android P public beta when? I think it'll be more so after the announcement, so this week I would say. Are you ever going to do a setup tour video? Probably not. We are doing a review of a light right now, a really high-end studio light. So I'll kind of show some things with that, but overall, probably not. We're gonna probably won't do that. But yeah, just because the studio how I have it right now is not how I really want it, but we will be moving by the end of next year. So next year we will do a studio tour of the new studio when I have it really set up just the way I want it. We're buying a house within the next year or so. By the way, again, you know, shameless plug, but if you want to help us move sooner, you know, I am a real estate agent. If you know anyone in your area that is moving, any of your friends, family, or anything like that, if I could refer them to an agent where you live, I get 25% of the house sale. Does not cost your people anything, just costs the agent that ends up selling the house or buying the house, helping them buy the house. So shameless plug there. If you know anyone, you know, you can always email me. Emails in the description. And yeah, if I can move faster, all that means is then we could get better equipment and help out the channel more and do higher end videos, which I am doing actually on a separate topic this week. I'm doing two videos, three videos with some really nice B-roll footage, kind of like how high-end tech YouTubers do it. And so I'm seeing it's taken a lot of time. It will come out this week though. We're gonna have 3 videos come out. One will be this week, and I think 2 will be the following week. But I'm very curious on see how your feedback will be towards it. And this takes too much time as of right now. But again, as the channel grows, this is the kind of quality that maybe one day we can have on the channel. Let's see. When will Android Oreo 8.1 be available on the S8? I doubt they're going to do 0.1, to be honest. I just don't see them doing it. I think they're only going to do 8, and then they're going to do 9 when it eventually comes out. So yeah, I don't think they're going to do 0.1. Oculus Go, how much degrees of freedom? How much degrees of freedom? Do you mean like the field of view? Or I'm not sure what you mean. When will we have QC Quick Charge 4.0? It depends on the smartphone maker. The Razer phone still has it. So the Razer phone is the first phone I've had with it. It charges fast, extremely fast. So yeah. Do tell more about this Facebook dating app. What's it called? When does it come out? LOL. It's not out yet, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember all the stuff that they were coming out with it. Right now it's in like beta. And basically it's going to be within the app. So you're going to have something at the top right of your Facebook app, and you can enter into it. And I'm assuming on your Facebook page on your computer, and you'll be able to enter in to a different profile. So you'll set up a different profile than your Facebook profile. And this new profile is just for dating. If YouTube Remix will change, I will lose all my music library. No word. I would assume you would not lose your music library. I would assume it would transfer over, just because it's Google and it makes sense that they transfer over your database, no problem. But yeah, that would be my assumption. Now, if only Facebook would let me use one app to message people, we didn't need Facebook Messenger. Yeah, well, I mean, my Facebook Messenger, I see as kind of like a, I don't know. I most of the people I text, actually, or most of the people I message, actually, half of them don't really use Facebook Messenger. I use Facebook Messenger for people like I haven't texted in a long time, so I have no idea if they still have the same phone number. So those are the people that I usually text on Facebook Messenger. That's the only time I really use it. Do you know if LG is coming out with a new tone Bluetooth headset? They've not announced anything yet, but I'm assuming we will see one this year, yeah. It's called the Rigsby Love Capsule. That's hilarious. Oh, discounting the HomePod, not discontinuing. Oh, okay. Discounting is more reasonable. How much are they discounting it so far? Can't computers and laptops and radiation into your body by just looking at them? I think you mean putting radiation into your... And again, it's such a minimal thing that it doesn't really matter. As The Rock would say, it doesn't matter what it puts in your body, because it really doesn't matter. It's so minimal, it doesn't affect our bodies. At least, again, as what studies have concluded. For now. As a longer term, who knows? These studies have only been around for about 10 years for most of them. They're still doing other studies that, are still going for 20 years and 30 years, so those would be more concrete evidence. You can still get the P20 Pro, just not from carriers. Yes, that is true. Forget the P20 Pro, get the Mate RS. That's another one that people like. Yes. Just turn you on. I was wondering if Samsung is going to come out with the smartwatch this year. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. 2 sizes. It'll come out this year, and there'll be an LTE option. But yeah, go back and check it out. All of us just blinked. Red Samsung will push Verizon bloatware even on unlocked phones. Is that true? I sure hope not. I did not hear it was going to even be on unlocked phones. If that were true, if I hadn't already left Verizon a couple of years ago, I would leave them now for that. I would be like, F you, you do not deserve to do this. F you, I'm gone. That's what I would be like. I just, yeah. Well, I understand. Do what you need to do. What was it? Or I don't know what that was about. How fast is the built storage on the S9 Plus? I need like, is it like speed 200 or 400? If it is, the built-in speed. The built-in speed is 64 gigs normal storage, or now they have 128 and 256. However, how fast is it? I want to say it was something like 400 to 500 speed. It was, Samsung has the fastest speed internal storage in smartphones, but I do not remember if it's UHS 2 or 1. I don't remember that, but it is the fastest speed out there. That I remember. How come you don't have Super Chat? The reason I don't have Super Chat is just because I don't like the idea of having people pay. I mean, look, I love you guys, and like, although if some of you guys would do Super Chat and to support me and give me $1 here and there, it helps. But I don't do Super Chat because I'm not big enough yet to where I can't read all of the messages kind of well, so I don't see that I should charge for Super Chat, so you definitely get your chat in. If it was like, this was constantly scrolling at all times, yeah, I might get a Super Chat then, so that, yeah, if you pay more, I'm definitely getting to your question. And don't get me wrong, will there be a time when that happens? If I get big enough, sure. But at that point, maybe I would also hire someone, pay them for an hour to do this chat with me, and they can moderate the chat while I just answer the questions. Which S9 Plus version do you use in the US? Let me see. About phone. I use the 965U1. Yes, that is the version I use. And you were asking which, what month I'm on for my security software. My security software is since February. So yeah, I haven't got one for March or April, and we just got into May. Note 8 Oreo issue. Someone asked, only issue is battery drain. My battery was much better on Android Nougat. I even tried factory reset, didn't help. Can you walk while playing Oculus Go? You shouldn't walk while playing Oculus Go, no. You will hit something. Have you gotten a chance to get a new desk for your mom yet? No, I haven't. That is what we're doing this week, so we'll see. Love your videos. God bless. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Comment. My next phone will be the Pixel 3 XL. If Google doesn't screw it up like the Pixel 2 had screen issues, we shall see. If it doesn't screw up with screen issues, I will be very happy with the Pixel. Which is the best laptop money can buy? I will tell you, upon using the Dell XPS 13, I am very happy with that laptop. That is an awesome laptop that I am very happy with. So that's really a contender. I like my Samsung for my purpose. I needed a laptop with a pen and that had a dedicated graphics card, but if I could do it again, I might get that XPS. There's a reason why the Dell XPS is constantly reviewed as one of the best laptops, and I've experienced it now myself. The full review will be coming out probably next week, but it's awesome. I was saying that it's okay that you weren't doing a new channel yet. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you, Quiet Storm, for explaining. Oh, well, I understand. Do what you need to do. Thank you, Quiet Storm. I appreciate that. Samsung is supposed to allow Verizon bloatware into all Galaxy devices, no matter what carrier you're on, and if it's or if it's carrier unlocked. That's crazy. That's crazy. They will get such a hard pushback from that. Thanks, Ricky, for answering questions and concerns. We appreciate you very much. Keep up the great work. Continue success. God bless. I would totally moderate for you. You would be a great moderator, Quiet Storm. I love VR. It's just horrible, not comfortable. It hurts my eyes. Love playing the zombie game with the Gear VR controller. 5 minutes later, I'm ready to put it down. Yeah, I understand. Have you watched the Andre the Giant documentary? No, I've not watched it yet. I've heard great things about it, but no, I haven't watched it yet. Doubt Samsung would put Verizon bloatware on different carriers' branded Galaxy devices. Yeah, I really doubt that too, but I don't know. Supposedly, some people have heard it. All right, guys. I think we will call that a show. Went a little bit over, but you know, we do that. Surprised my wife hasn't messaged me yet. All right, guys. So thank you again, always so much for watching. Really do always appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to always ask. And yeah. Lots of new videos coming out this week, including that one that, again, a lot of B-roll, that more professional looking YouTube style. Although I don't think I shot it at 1080p, which I blame the DJI app for that, but we'll see. All right, guys, thank you again so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.